I'm Shiraz, and this is my video on established discrimination in the United States and how it's related to the First Amendment.
When the United States Constitution was created, anti-federalists did not approve of it because it failed to address the basic civil rights of the people. So, the Bill of Rights, consisting of 10 civil liberties, was created to prevent a future intrusive government. Among those 10 amendments was the First Amendment, which states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The First Amendment was perhaps the most fundamental and important liberty for the colonists. The protection from government interference into people's religious lives was a major cause for them to leave their homelands and to establish a new government. In the 1620s, the Pilgrims left England on the Mayflower because they were being forced to follow the Church of England. In the 1630s, the Puritans followed in the Pilgrims' footsteps because they were being threatened by King Charles I for following their Puritan lifestyle. Both of these parties left their homelands to go to America in order to have the right to follow their own religions. Even today, millions of people are still coming to America because of the lack of religious freedom in their countries of origin. Freedom of religion helps foster America's diversity, making it a place of numerous ethnicities, religions, and making it a place that people feel safe and comfortable living in. After all, this was the original intent of the framers. They included two principles of freedom of religion in the First Amendment. The Establishment Clause was intended to prevent the government from favoring one religion or presenting one religion as a better choice. The Free Exercise Clause guaranteed that every person was allowed to follow whatever religion they wanted. By creating these two basic liberties, the framers were able to establish the idea that America is a safe country that is welcoming to everyone. Recently, the president made an executive order preventing 7 countries' citizens from entering the United States.
The president has issued 2 executive orders attempting to make good on his campaign promise to essentially stop all Muslims from entering the United States, what he called a complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States. These courts are finding that the executive orders are overbroad, they're overreaching, and most importantly that they run contrary to our core values as a country and at the heart of our Constitution, which is that we don't discriminate based on one's faith.
What makes these executive orders unconstitutional is the fact that they go against the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause.
They find that it is, based on the president's statements, discriminatory against Muslims such that it violates what's called the Establishment Clause, which prohibits favoring one religion over another and conversely prohibits disfavoring a religion.
These orders are not only violating the Constitution, but also creating an environment in which discrimination against these nationalities is defensible.
It's also clear that around the world, freedom of religion is under threat. And that's what I want to reflect on this morning. We see governments engaging in discrimination and violence against the faithful. We sometimes see religion twisted in an attempt to justify hatred and persecution against other people just because of who they are, how they pray, or who they love.
Hate no longer hides behind hoods. This was the scene in the liberal college town of Charlottesville, Virginia on Friday, reminiscent of images from a dark American past. Hundreds of white nationalists from across the country descended upon the University of Virginia's campus ahead of a planned demonstration to protest the removal of the statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee.
White lives matter! White lives matter!
This brings us to my main point in this video. The reason that the First Amendment is so important to me is not just because it supports religious freedom. It's mostly because the First Amendment is an essential factor against all types of discrimination and injustice. Around the world, people are trying to justify their hatred towards others by covering it up with the differences in faith. Recently, I found a survey that shows 65% of Iranian Americans feel that they are experiencing or have experienced discrimination in the U.S. I couldn't believe the results of the survey. Therefore, for this video, I interviewed a group of Iranian Americans and I asked them how they were affected by the travel ban and if they are experiencing any discrimination. Of all the individuals who I interviewed, only one stated that this travel ban is not against the U.S. Constitution and that he had not experienced any type of discrimination. However, The rest of them had a different opinion.
One of the main reasons I came here, immigrated to United States and became U.S. citizen was because of the very strong constitutional law and specifically First Amendment. And I remember vividly the very first job interview I had with a law firm, Southern California. The attorney who was interviewing me asked me several questions. Then he asked me, "Where are you from?" I told him that I'm from Iran/Persia. He said, "What are you doing here?" And it struck me, and I was very disappointed to hear that.
Absolutely. Those family members that I hope that I will be seeing and I will have them over, that is pretty much, that hope is gone. And discrimination has always been with me since I put my foot here in this country. I came in '78 and it wasn't good and it hasn't gotten better.
I'm a staff member at the university and I deal with students on a daily basis. I have seen how this travel ban has affected so many students in various ways.
I came here for my PhD 7 years ago. I graduated 4 years ago, and since then I'm working at City of Los Angeles. 5 years ago, my parents visit me here without any problem. Since travel ban, they cannot come here or apply for the visa, and basically we have been separated from our families.
It's going to be like a nightmare that you cannot see your family. So whenever you want or whenever you need them to be here and like support you, it will affect your function, I think.
I believe the First Amendment is important to guarantee the separation of the state and religion and to ensure that there's never any established discrimination.